Welcome to Vital Life Stories. Today we follow Ethan, a young boy overwhelmed by the heavy pressures of academic life. He sat staring at the blank pages, his mind racing with anxiety, feeling unable to absorb a single word written. The classroom felt suffocating as the teacher returned the test papers, confirming his deepest fears of failure and academic inadequacy. With every passing day, his confidence eroded like sand in the wind, leaving him feeling hopeless about his future prospects. Desperate for a change, he decided to visit Mr. Harris, a philosophy teacher known for his profound wisdom and patience. The room was filled with the scent of old books and warm sunlight, a stark contrast to the chaotic hallway. Mr. Harris looked up with a gentle smile, inviting the nervous boy to sit down and share his troubled thoughts. Ethan poured out his heart, explaining how he studied for hours but could not remember anything when it truly mattered. The teacher placed a bottle of muddy water on the table and asked Ethan to look closely at the swirling dirt. When the water is agitated, it becomes cloudy and unclear, much like your mind when it is filled with constant stress. They sat in silence, watching the bottle as the dirt slowly settled to the bottom, leaving the water clear again. Harris explained that clarity only returns when we stop shaking the bottle and allow the turbulence to naturally fade away. Before you begin to study, you must take 5 minutes to breathe deeply, letting the sediment of your mind settle. Only when your mind is calm can you truly perceive information clearly and retain it effectively for the long term. Ethan nodded, understanding that his anxiety was the very thing preventing him from achieving the success he so desperately wanted. Mr. Harris then lit a small candle, asking Ethan to focus entirely on the dancing flame and nothing else around. He explained that most suffering comes from regretting the past or fearing the future, rather than living in the now. The flame represents the present moment, the only time where you actually have the power to act and make changes. Worrying about tomorrow's exam or yesterday's failure steals the energy you need to learn the material right in front of you. When you open your book, let the rest of the world disappear until only you and the knowledge remain connected. By anchoring your awareness in the present, you harness your full mental capacity instead of scattering it across time. Ethan realized that he had been fighting battles in his head instead of simply doing the work required today. Next, the wise teacher produced a dry sponge and a hard stone, placing them both into a bowl of water. The stone remains wet on the surface, but inside it is dry because it refuses to let the water enter. The sponge, however, absorbs the water completely, becoming one with it because it is open and ready to receive it. Rote memorization is like the stone. You hold the words on the surface, but they never truly become part of you. True learning requires you to be like the sponge, absorbing the logic and meaning until you fully understand the concept. Don't just ask what the answer is. Ask why it is the answer and how it connects to other things. When you understand the core principles, you no longer need to memorize, because the knowledge is now a part of you. Pointing to a thick log of wood, Harris asked if Ethan could break it in half with his bare hands. Ethan shook his head, knowing it was impossible to break such a massive object without using the proper tools. The teacher then picked up a small twig and snapped it effortlessly, showing that small things are easily conquered. When you look at the entire syllabus at once, it feels like the heavy log, impossible to move or break. You must break the heavy load into small, manageable sections that you can handle one by one without feeling overwhelmed. Completing small tasks gives you a sense of victory, building the momentum needed to tackle the larger challenges ahead. Ethan saw that the mountain of work was just a collection of small stones that could be moved individually. Finally, Harris took Ethan to the window and gently watered a small green plant basking in the afternoon sun. If I dump a bucket of water on it once a month, it will drown, but daily drops bring life. Studying for 20 hours straight before an exam is like flooding the plant. It causes stress rather than true growth. True progress comes from consistency, educating a small amount of focused time every single day to nurture your growing mind. Ethan looked at the 5 lessons, realizing that success was not magic, but a result of patience and correct methods. 5 years later, the once anxious boy had transformed into a confident young man, graduating at the top of his class. He applied these simple philosophy lessons to every aspect of his life, turning obstacles into stepping stones for great success. He proved that intelligence is not just about natural talent, but about the mindset and habits we cultivate daily. Thank you for watching Vital Life Stories. Remember to breathe, focus, and practice daily. See you in the next video.